December 1917. America's railroads faced collapse under wartime demands. President Wilson confronted a crisis threatening the Allied effort. Competing railroads operated independently with incompatible equipment, creating inefficiency when national unity was desperately needed. Secretary McAdoo recognized only federal intervention could prevent failure. America's ability to supply troops hung in balance. The crisis appeared everywhere: congested yards, idle freight, bottlenecked ports. Companies refused to share tracks even for war needs. Wilson knew traditional solutions wouldn't work. As McAdoo presented his plan, everyone understood its historic significance. On December 26, 1917, Wilson took unprecedented action, federalizing America's entire rail system during wartime. Wilson established the United States Railroad Administration, nationalizing 360,000 miles of competing railways across America. McAdoo became Director General, receiving powers to coordinate America's railroads as one system serving the war effort. Fragmentation would be replaced by coordination, standardized equipment, and modernized infrastructure supporting Allied victory. This measure launched a $1.2 billion investment, about $25 billion today, transforming America's railways permanently. USRA headquarters created the first complete maps of America's rail network, revealing the full extent of the crisis. Engineers found competing companies had designed incompatible equipment. Parts from one locomotive wouldn't fit another, crippling efficiency. Staff worked tirelessly creating America's first railroad inventory, cataloging every locomotive, car, and track under federal control. The situation was worse than expected. Parts couldn't be shared, repair yards served single companies, and routes were needlessly duplicated. Studying America's rail map, McAdoo announced his solution. Standardization would unite railroads into one national system. USRA engineers designed standardized locomotives and rail cars that could operate on any American railroad, eliminating costly incompatibility. The USRA standard locomotives combined the best features from existing designs, creating more powerful and efficient engines. McAdoo requested $1.2 billion to standardize equipment, upgrade infrastructure, and coordinate operations across America's railways. As men joined the military, women entered the railroad workforce, bringing organizational skills crucial for national coordination. The plan was revolutionary: standardize equipment, upgrade infrastructure, eliminate competition, creating one national system. Railroad executives resisted government control, fearing lost profits. Their boardrooms became battlegrounds over America's transportation future. McAdoo showed how competitive practices undermined the war effort, while executives protected territories. Vital supplies sat idle. Military officers emphasized the urgency. Transportation failures impacted frontline troops. Victory required efficiency the fragment system couldn't provide. Eliminating duplicate routes would increase capacity by 40% without adding locomotives. Coordination alone would transform operations. Patriotism overcame profit motives. Executives accepted federal control, recognizing that national necessity transcended company interests. Chicago's rail yard transformed under USRA control. Formerly competing trains now operated as one coordinated national system. Emma Fitzgerald stepped into her enlisted brother's position, proving her skills despite skepticism from male railroad workers. Daniel Washington, an experienced African-American mechanic, finally received recognition for his expertise under USRA standardization. The war created opportunities as women and minorities filled essential railroad jobs across the entire national network. Efficiency improved immediately. Freight that once sat idle for days now moved within hours. Daily throughput doubled. Baldwin Locomotive Works transformed under USRA, shifting from custom manufacturing to standardized production revolutionizing American railroads. Standardized parts created an industrial revolution. Components that once required custom fitting now interchanged perfectly between locomotives. The USRA Light Mikado became America's standardized workhorse, combining the best features from competitors into one superior design. The new designs required 20% less maintenance while delivering 25% more power than their predecessors from private companies. The first USRA standard locomotive represented America's transformation from competition to coordination, rolling out the patriotic cheers. In Montana, USRA engineers assessed deteriorating tracks neglected for decades by companies prioritizing profits over safety. Infrastructure renewal happened nationwide, bridges reinforced, signals modernized, tracks straightened, all following identical USRA standards. Workers replaced lightweight rails from the 1880s with heavy-duty steel supporting larger loads at higher speeds. Rails stamped with 1880s dates were replaced by modern 1918 steel, upgrading decades of neglected infrastructure. These improvements transformed operations. Trains that once crawled cautiously now operated at full speed with heavier loads. USRA eliminated wasteful competition through national coordination, assigning routes based on efficiency rather than ownership. 5 companies running half-empty trains became efficiently loaded trains on optimized routes. Fuel usage dropped while capacity increased. McAdoo directed nationwide strategy using innovative tracking systems that visualized the entire network as one system. Performance metrics showed ton miles increased 182% while using fewer locomotives. Analysis drove continuous network optimization. Standardized time zones created synchronized schedules nationwide, eliminating countless delays from timing inconsistencies between railroads. Winter 1918 brought severe tests. Snowstorms threatened critical coal deliveries. Power plants and military facilities faced potential shutdown. USRA deployed snow equipment from western railroads to eastern routes, sharing that was impossible before federal control. From Chicago, EMA coordinated complex rerouting, sending coal through southern routes during record blizzards in the Northeast. Telegraph updates enabled rapid decisions. McAdoo prioritized shipments based on strategic needs, demonstrating coordination's advantages. Workers maintained equipment through brutal conditions, when trains would normally stop. Coal deliveries continued uninterrupted throughout winter. East Coast ports transformed under USRA. Modified passenger cars delivered troops in precise waves for immediate shipboarding. Standardized freight cars revolutionized dockside operations with uniform designs, allowing consistent loading across all shipments. Military commanders praised the transformation. Loading times halved, shipping delays eliminated. Coordination became exceptionally efficient. Every major port showed similar efficiency gains through standardized procedures. America's ports operated as one coordinated system. 1 million soldiers transported without a single serious accident. The port congestion of 1917 vanished under USRA management. Rural America benefited as refrigerator cars reached small towns, allowing farmers to ship perishables despite wartime priorities. Branch lines neglected by profit-focused companies received equal attention. Isolated communities regained vital transportation connections. Fewer trains, but better service. Reliability and connections vastly improved, particularly benefiting rural communities long overlooked. Families reunited through reliable service, businesses maintained connections, and communities remained integrated during wartime separation. Civilian passenger miles increased 15% during wartime. Efficiency served both military needs and essential civilian transportation. November 11, 1918, the telegraph arrived. Armistice signed. Brief celebration preceded focus on bringing millions home. While headlines proclaimed, "War ends," USRA quickly resumed operations. Victory created transportation demands exceeding wartime levels. Planning shifted to repatriation. The improved rail system would now bring millions of soldiers from ports to hometowns. President Wilson visited USRA headquarters, acknowledging their crucial contribution to victory through unprecedented transportation coordination. The statistics: 182% more ton miles, 30% fewer locomotives needed, supplies moving twice as fast through the improved system. By 1919, USRA standards transformed production. Factories built standardized equipment, incorporating wartime innovations for all railroads. Daniel Washington supervised an integrated team building standardized freight cars. Wartime opportunities persisted into peacetime operations. Women maintained significant roles despite post-war pressures. Their expertise remained valuable regardless of traditional gender barriers. Infrastructure improvements appeared nationwide: modern terminals, advanced signals, standardized facilities, benefiting transportation for decades. The $1.2 billion investment showed extraordinary returns. USRA designs influenced American railroads through the 1950s and beyond. March 1920. After 28 months of government control, railroads returned to private ownership, having achieved wartime goals. Railroad executives received systems worth far more than before. USRA investment had modernized facilities and standardized equipment nationwide. Operational knowledge proved as valuable as physical improvements. Professionals like Emma ensured efficiency practices continued under private ownership. The impact remained: standardized equipment, improved infrastructure, and modern practices maintained national coordination for decades. In 28 months, $1.2 billion transformed America's railroads from competing fiefdoms into a coordinated system, strengthening transportation for generations.